Ruth Price is the family caregiver specialist with the Land of Sky Regional Council in Asheville, North Carolina. Ruth currently meets often with a group of people who have been diagnosed with dementia. They call their group the Cheers Group. Ruth invited me to join the Cheers Group Zoom meeting. I had the opportunity to interview some of them, which allowed them to tell others what life is like living with dementia. Their goal is to help caregivers and family members to better understand what goes on in their mind living with dementia. They also enjoy meeting with others diagnosed with dementia and feel it is a great help to each other as they go through many of the same experiences.
Got it.
That worked. Thank you, Ruth.
Okay, we're being recorded as of right now.
Hi, everyone. Well, like Ruth said, I work with the Land of Sky, and she has asked me to interview your group and let you tell me your thoughts about dementia.
Well, you wanted to talk about senile dementia.
Yes.
Senile dementia, I'm a physician. Senile dementia is a multifaceted animal, if you will. And it comes in many colors. And some people only have a loss of, say, faces or memory or and only certain memories or certain times. And other people have disastrous problems. They don't even know what they did 5 minutes before speaking.
Did you say you were a physician?
Yes.
Well, that's very interesting. I'm sure you have a lot of knowledge about the subject.
Well, I don't know about that, but I spent 30 years in the emergency departments, and I loved it. I go back in a heartbeat if I thought I could, but I have to know my limits.
Well, I'm sure many people appreciate your years of service. Without a doubt, you have helped a lot of people over the years.
Well, it was a lot of fun, good challenge. I enjoyed it.
I've always been faithful to my wife relative to telling her facts. And I didn't feel right. And I didn't know what was wrong. And I went got myself tested, and they said that I am a dementia patient. And my dementia is, I've lost my balance, which is the big thing. I need a walker or a cane, which I never needed before. I think that's the biggest issue I have. A lot of other issues that between my caregiver and me kind of always zeroed out, so to speak. Not entirely. Prior to this, I used to have a heck of a temper, and I would blow up. And that's not fair to my wife, my caregiver. I'm just a guy that goes into the kitchen and can't find what the hell am I here for? I sit a second, and finally comes back to me. Then I'm okay. But I just walk in like that, I'm gone. I have a fantastic old timer memory. We go way back 10, 15, 24, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. And why is that happens, I don't know. That's crazy. I'll shut up for a while.
I think maybe I can explain a time in my passage under the headline of emotions. I became very quickly emotional, and I'll say angry, resentful, the types of emotions that make me act out. And that was a time in my passage that was really hard. And I think it was more towards the beginning that it was the worst. I can ask some of the group. They went through it with me. But trying to explain the emotion is difficult because you're so into that rage or that sadness at a time, and it's was mostly because I could no longer do something that I used to do so easily. And when other people would try and encourage, or maybe they weren't even aware I was struggling, I just got more upset. So I remember a period that was much different than where I am right now. And, but I know how difficult it was for others around me.
In my case, early on, I was getting so angry at my caregiver, so angry all the time because she was doing things behind my back. What do I mean by that? I would ask her why we were doing something. How come you never told me? She would say, well, I did tell you. And you know, when that goes on and on and on, pretty soon you start thinking, well, maybe she did tell me, but I don't remember. And that is basically my biggest problem is I just don't remember anything, especially anything that's current. But I also know from going to our group, support group, they're finding that this disease of dementia is on a it's on a plane, and it just does nothing but get worse and get worse and get worse. And so I'm just very thankful today that I don't feel that I'm getting worse. At least when my caregiver tells me something, I believe it now. And so it just keeps getting better.
I'm in physical therapy twice a week. And I think that's helped me a lot. I also lost my license because of the, what do you call this stuff? Dementia. I'm 93 next year. The next year, I'll be 93 years old. So that I don't have the problem a lot of these young people have. I don't know if I can explain that better, the fact, but I know that with the time I have left, I've spent a pretty good long life as it is. And I feel pretty good about that. I have a lot of good memories. I just want to accept what's happened.
I just wanted to say that I mean obviously there are things that help us out, and they're kind of easy to run through. You know, yes, getting exercise helps. Eating properly, Mediterranean diet, things like that help. Socialization is a big thing because a lot of us were in workforce and so on, and now we're not, and things like that. And your group of friends shrinks. All those things change. So things like Zoom have been a big help, especially through COVID and so on. But I mean, a lot of those things kind of come and go about things. But I mean, what's really important is the human element of how people interact with you. I think that's the big thing, is them having an understanding and you being able to communicate well makes the biggest difference. I mean, like any life-changing event, only the people who are going through it and really experiencing it are really the only ones who know what it's like, and it's different for every single one of us. We have to count on people to be understanding when we can't be, and I mean, you do what you can, but it's you want to believe that you would be there for someone else in need, and you want to believe that they're good people who will be there for you too. So I mean, that's something that you're counting on. But I mean, there's so many things that are it's new to everybody. If they haven't experienced this, they don't know what it is, and they usually make the same mistakes. They'll try and want people to not invalidate or minimize what's happening to us by saying all the kind of classic knee-jerk things like you don't look like you have dementia, or oh, I forget where my keys are sometimes, and things like that. It says more about their lack of understanding of what's going on with us. I mean, how am I supposed to look? And, you know, come talk to me when you don't know where your house is or you don't recognize your family. And also to not write checks that you can't cash. You know, don't, before you offer to always be there or call me for anything you ever need and this kind of thing, think about what you're offering and the effect on us if you're not able to or won't follow through with these things. I mean, it has a huge effect, but I just think communication is the biggest thing. It's you have to keep just an open, honest conversation with the people you're around you, really kind of everybody, and that has to go both ways. You have to tell people what we need and what we like, you know, what we hope for, what we're afraid of, and you know, we need to encourage each other to keep doing that. You know, sometimes just asking, "How can I help?" you know, makes a difference. But and keeping a sense of humor will make it get you through this so many times when you otherwise would not, because it really diffuses things a lot. You know?
Right. I just think that's something that if someone's listening and wanting to know about what do I do if my loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's or any of the other labels that are out there, keep in mind that we're really not able to change. We're doing the best we can, but that then shifts it back to you. And please learn ways to help.
Challenge your brain. And it doesn't matter how fluky or flaky it sounds, challenge it. My latest challenge to my brain is something I avoided for all of my academic years. I went to colleges and universities, and every time the physics instructors or professors, whatever we call them, were the lowest grade people. They gave everybody low grades. Don't ask me why. I never asked them why. I just took my low grade and said, never mind what I said. But anyway, you don't have to put up with that for your whole life. What I do now is I go online and I take physics courses. And they're wonderful. And it doesn't matter if they fail me or not. I take them and I enjoy them, and I challenge my brain with the new lesson, the new whatever it is. What? I never thought I would do it, but I am doing it. And I thought I would share that with you all. Thank you.
I was thinking that when you were talking about people getting together and how they understand that, sometimes caregivers don't like the idea of having the care partners in a setting where they're around other people who also have dementia. That they kind of feel like they're hurting us together and this kind of thing. And if I could kind of get past the idea of that was probably one of the biggest things that helped me out for being in this group and why I took to this group so much, is being able to talk to people who knew what I was talking about from this side of it. There's so many people that when you start to talk about what's going on with you day to day, they look at you like you have two heads and they just can't understand what you're saying. The people in this group, when you say, yes, I found my shoes in the refrigerator, they go, yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. I haven't done that one, but I'll tell you what it's 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 something, whether it's just that or it's how you're getting along with the person. My caregiver likes to try to decide for me about how I feel about something before I do it, so she doesn't tell me about things, and it upsets me. And someone else can say, this is how we got past that, or I'm afraid to tell her this because then she'll think I can't do this and things. We've all been in that kind of spot, and that's what kind of helps you get through it. So learned so much from the people that you see right here, and a lot haven't been able to be here, but it teaches you a lot about what you're expecting, because we're all kind of at different spots and different places, and all of us have different types of dementias, so it affects us differently, but it gives you a much better understanding of what's going on with you and how people are reacting to you. So, that'll shut up.
Thank you, John.
It seems as if I am more inquisitive anymore. I used to always love vocabulary. It was fun to me to figure out just the right word to use. And so now I struggle with that. And sometimes it's nowhere near the word I'm trying to find that I use, but I just simply love Google. And so I visit Google several times a day. And usually because I heard a word and it's important to me at that time, it's important to me to be sure I know what that means.
Well, last night on television, we were watching a movie. I don't know the name of it. Or if I do, I don't remember what it is. But anyway, it was a man who had dementia and how it's related to his family. And that man was played by a wonderful actor, Anthony.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins. You seen the movie? Yeah.
Oh, yes, the father. The father,
The
yeah.
father. Yeah. What a positive show that was. And as I was watching it, I grew up and I have the same fears that he had, and that is that some morning I may wake up and not recognize Jan, my caregiver. I imagine something like that happening to me, but again, that's all I wanted to say.